What could have led a police officer to open fire on a cute little dog?
I don't even have to watch the video. I can tell you right now, he's a goober, a clown, a buffoon. I saw this story the other day, and when I watched it, I just had to bring it to you guys. This is something that ravaged my mind. So perplexing that it just confused me in my spot where I was watching this video. I don't even know how to interpret what happens. You're gonna see the footage of everything that happens in this video, and you're just gonna lose your mind as to what was the reason. Why was this even necessary? It does not make sense. You don't even have to be a dog lover or a pet owner for that matter to understand the frustration of what takes place in this video.
Body cam footage shows the officer walking to the fluffy white Shih Tzu named Teddy after responding to a call about an injured dog. At first, he sounds as nice as can be.
Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Here you go.
So you see that? You see his first interaction with the dog and think, oh, what's gonna happen? Like, how does this turn left? How does this go south really fast? How does it escalate to something crazy? Because you would assume this dog is rabid, has rabies, or is just overall very vicious, fierce, trying to bite the officer, barking at the officer. No, that never happens ever. And even the police officer's initial reactions is he's very sweet and kind to the dog. They're gonna mention it coming up, but this dog is blind and deaf. And I kind of have a personal connection with this story because I've also had a dog that was blind and deaf. And sometimes they wander around, they don't know where they're necessarily at. And when you pet them, they're very happy, very sweet to know that you're there, and they start wagging their tail. So I know what it's like to be around a dog that's just like this. I'm assuming the police officer didn't know this, but it doesn't take a rocket scientist to realize there's something going on with this dog. Let's get it to a veterinarian. Let me not make my decision. I'm not going to become judge, jury, and executioner. Instead, let's see if we can get any help for this dog, and if we can't, then we can go ahead and put it down the moral and ethical way. But no, this cop took it upon himself to do what he thought was necessary, and it absolutely wasn't.
He's trying to get a lasso around the dog's neck.
I'm gonna take you to get help.
But the officer can't seem to get the device to work. He's also not aware that the dog is blind and deaf.
I want you guys to understand that point. He tried to get the lasso around the neck, meaning that he was gonna take the dog in. And I don't know if this county or if this state has animal control, because some don't and some just rely on the police officers, but that should have been the first call in general. Animal control should have handled this. And even if not, like I said before, he was trying to get the collar around the dog so they could take it into a vet, but he didn't want to. And this is why I believe this was a targeted attack. This fucking imbecile was too lazy to take the time out of the day to do his own job, to respond to this call. He wanted to be Johnny Gunfingers instead. He wanted to create a John Wick to come after him. He wanted to get straight to the action by any means necessary. And if that meant downing a dog, that's what he was gonna do. His trigger finger was itching that day.
3 minutes later, the officer suddenly cocks his gun and opens fire. And not just once, Teddy is dead. As Officer Myron Woodson calmly walks away, you can hear him call out to a neighbor.
Had to dispatch it.
Children here, they're like, don't you think you should warn before you fire shots?
In the officer's shadow, you can see him wave her off.
This dude is a fucking savage. That's how you know it was absolutely intentional. The rabies argument is simply an excuse to use his firearm that day. He didn't just shoot it once, he shot it twice. Buddy, if you ever wanted to give yourself up and expose your true intentions, you just did it right there. A small little dog like that doesn't need all that. This is police brutality. This is a power trip. This is becoming judge, jury, and executioner. This is why the people don't trust the police. And this is a dog. No wonder people turn up around the world when this happens to humans. And him waving off that concerned neighbor is even more proof of his true intentions. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about this situation. He doesn't give a fuck about this damn dog. No wonder people have trust issues when it comes to the police. They're not seen as the shining hero in the community, as they should be. They're seen as a villain, as a potential agitator to get you hammed up. Because look at what they do. When you're driving down the street and you see a police car, you're not thinking, hey, I should go support him or her in that car. I really love the police. No, you're thinking, let me make sure my seatbelt is on so I don't get a ticket and get hammed up. I'm not saying all police officers are bad. Clearly they're not. There's some really upstanding men and women out here that support the community. But obviously, when you see stuff like this, it makes you lose faith. This is like if a tweaker was tweaked out of his mind and instead of getting him help, you shoot him instead. Unacceptable behavior, regardless if it's a human or an animal.
Teddy's owner also confronted the officer identified as Myron Woodson.
That's not how you handle a situation. If a dog is a threat to a person and harms a person or shows immediate threat, that's when you use force.
He is just the sweetest dog ever, and it's just his life ended in a horrible way.
Could you imagine being the dog owner of that dog, knowing nothing was wrong with him? He just got outside of the gate, he got loose, he's blind and deaf, so you can't call out to him, you can't necessarily grab him, he doesn't know who's trying to touch him, who's trying to grab him. He will probably know by scent. But besides that, he's dead now because of this brainless, ignorant jackass. When he waved off that neighbor, that's all I needed to see to know this dude does not care about this situation. He's not upstanding when it comes to the most menial of tasks, and he's only really in the force for power. This will truly be a low point of his entire career, if not his entire life.
City officials in Sturgeon, Missouri issued a statement saying the officer acted within his authority based on the information available to him at the time to protect against possible injury to citizens from what appeared to be an injured, sick, and abandoned dog.
So now the city is trying to cover for this police officer. This wasn't from the chief. This was from a city official, somebody within the mayoral office covering for this dude's ass. You hate to see it. You hate to see people do wrong and then they got friends in high places trying to cover for them. You hate to see it. And it happens every single day, starting at where you work all the way up to the presidential office. I don't even know why I got so passionate about this story. I guess it just goes to show that when it comes to the most harmless of beings on this planet, the police will show their ass, and there are no bounds at which they would stop at to use their power and authority.
The officer has said he thought the dog may have had rabies. But the video is leading to an uproar and the resignation of the mayor.
Come on, baby.
People got on this dude's ass. They got the mayor out of office. Could you imagine? The city, if not the entire internet that saw this video, was in such an uproar that they got the mayor to resign. Not even the cop, not even the chief of the police officer. The mayor, they got his ass out of town, knowing damn well this is unexcusable. The people of this city need to keep the exact same energy as soon as this happens to an actual human.
A settlement has been reached over a police officer killing of a dog in Sturgeon last year.
The city of Sturgeon and the police officer agreed to a $500,000 settlement with the owner of the dog. KMUH's Ray Dickerson III is here now with more on the settlement. Ray.
In May of 2024, a Sturgeon police officer shot and killed a 13-pound blind and deaf dog. Bodycam video of the incident showed the officer trying to wrangle the dog for about 3 minutes with a lasso before taking out his gun and shooting the dog twice. Officer Myron Woodson was then put on paid leave until October, when he resigned. Nicholas Hunter, the owner of the dog, filed a federal lawsuit alleging that the city of Sturgeon failed to properly train, supervise, and discipline Woodson. Hunter was initially seeking $1 million from the city and the officer, but agreed to the $500,000 settlement. The Animal Legal Defense Fund provided a grant to help cover the cost for the lawsuit. Hunter and his attorney said they, quote, hope other departments will learn from this and train their officers so situations like this don't happen again, end quote. The city of Sturgeon no longer has a police department and has been under contract with Boone County Sheriff since August of 2024.
So as you saw in the video, even the police officer resigned, and that's great for the city of Sturgeon, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter because he can just leave, get out of Dodge, and go set up shop down the street in a different city in a different county. Yeah, he resigned, but it was on his own volition. He can still go somewhere else and become a police officer, which I'm pretty sure he is already, but just because the mayor and now this police officer resigned doesn't mean much. It means something to the city because at least these corrupt bastards are not here anymore, but they can go terrorize another city or another county. And you might not have caught this at the end, but now Sturgeon no longer has a police department. Now they're only relying on the sheriff, which covers the county. But specifically for the city, they no longer have a police department. And that definitely has something to do with the fact that not only did the mayor resign, but also this police officer. They were just getting a bad rap altogether. So they said, let's just get this shit up out of here because they're not doing a good job. I'm happy for the city of Sturgeon. It's important for the community to come together to police themselves rather than these outside forces, people from different states and different communities coming to tell you what's up. The dog owners ended up getting a $500,000 settlement, but at the end of the day, it's just money. It's not going to bring back the dog, the family member that they once had. And I'm so glad that the Animal Defense Fund covered the legal expenses for the owner suing the city. It brings me so much joy when every aspect of the community comes together to support each other. But it's sad when it's in regard to taking down the mayor and a police officer. The very people we look to uphold our rights and our community are the ones doing the very evil that we despise. That's it for the story. Thank you so much for watching. If you're still here, I really appreciate it. Make sure to like and subscribe down below. I'm really happy and glad to post these videos, especially when we get justice. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.